Hello everyone, it's Jim Warrior, and it is time for another YouTube Pagan Challenge. And this week's question is, what does magic mean to you? And it's spelled with a C and a K. Which I didn't think was that significant really, but a lot of people have been pointing it out, so it made me really want to talk about, briefly, the two spellings. When I very first started my channel, one of the very first videos that I made was called Magic versus Magic, and it was magic with the C versus magic with the CK. And I talked about the origin of both of those words a little bit and what they both meant and how people differentiate them today. And then the video I followed up with right after it, I basically said that I didn't care about the differentiation because to me, magic, stage magic or theatrical magic and things like that is pretty dead at this point because of development in the entertainment industry with like CGI and just other forms of entertainment growing more popular. That stage magic isn't really popular anymore. It's not really a thing. It's kind of died out. And because of that, well, partially because of that, also because it was our word first and I just don't care that someone else tried to use it for something fake. But if it was our word first, then I'm going to use it the way it was, it was traditionally spelled, which is MAGIC in the English language. So, anywho, yeah, I use magic with a C. And I'm not opposed to using it with a K. It's certainly fine. Occasionally, I will spell it that way. That's fine. But I do predominantly use just MAGIC. I actually do label myself, when people ask me what type of pagan I am, I usually just say magician, like urban magician. I like the term magician, and I guess it's kind of a reclaiming kind of thing, and I did talk about that a little bit in those two videos that I had made back in like December last year. So, so magic in terms of just the spelling doesn't really mean too much to me in terms of like, is there a difference? Because I don't think so. It's just spellings. The meanings behind them are the same. So, of course, I think the real question that's being posed here is, what does magic mean to you in the sense of like the practice of magic, the belief in magic, your definition of magic. My definition of magic is pretty much, I think, the generic meaning of magic. I think that it's pretty much changing things to suit your will. I do think that as magicians and witches, etc., shamans, etc., I think that we are energy sculptors. We sculpt energy, ambient energy, life energy, universal energy, celestial energy. We shape it to be whatever we want. We change things to suit us. But it is definitely more than that to me. Well, I think magic is simply just a way of interacting with the universe. That's one definition for myself, I suppose. Is I think that magic is a way to interact with the universe. I think that magic isn't inherently pagan. It's not inherently of any religion. Magic is something that crosses all religions, and also it can exist outside of religion. You can be anything and be a magician. Or you can be nothing and be a magician. And I do think that magic is more than just spells and ritual. I think that magic is in everything. I think it's sort of like while I think it is a tool, I think that magic is kind of its own energy as well. And it flows through everything, kind of like the ether or the akasha or spirit. I don't think there's any one correct way to sculpt magical energy. And when I say sculpt magical energy, I mean, I don't think that there's a wrong way to do magic, be it voodoo, hoodoo, Wicca, witchcraft, shamanism, Asatru, Druidry, Centauria, Obia. I mean, any of that. Anything. All the paths are correct and they're fine. And there's no wrong way to do magic. I do not believe in black and white magic. I don't believe in black and white almost anything, actually. I think everything is chaos and everything is gray. And we as humans bring things to order. As animals, really. Animals do it too. We organize and we put order into things. I think on their own, things are pretty chaotic. There is some structure, obviously, to the universe and the way it runs things. But I think it definitely allows for a really big heaping dose of chaos. And I think that magic is all about the in-between. For me, magic is about embracing the in-between. It's kind of a way of life, magic is. So magic is a tool to interact with the universe, but magic is also an energy of the universe. And magic is also, I think, a way of thinking. When you have a magical mindset about things, everything suddenly has a different definition. Pepper is no longer just a seasoning or a condiment. Suddenly it is a tool to banish negative energy. Suddenly everything has a duality to it. It has a mundane nature and a magical nature. Everything does. And then the more you get to understand and embrace that magical way of thinking, the mundane and the magical sides of two things blur and they all kind of just become magical. Yeah. Actually, I summed that up pretty well in my head for myself. So, yes. That. Magic, I can't imagine my life without magic. I think that I've just have been instinctively drawn to magic since I was a child, as I know most of us say. And I do wonder if it's that way for everyone of every other faith in the world. I mean, are there Christians out there who say, I've just always been drawn to the concepts and tenets of Christianity since I was a child? I don't know. Are there people like that? I don't know. And on other religions as well, is there people who have just always been drawn to the path of the Bodhisattva since they were children? I don't know. Probably. I mean, if it happens with us, then I suppose it happens with other people of other religions and spiritual practices as well. But I can't speak for them, but magic is, like I said, for me, all about embracing the in-between of things, like in your life. Embracing that not everything is binary, even though I just said kind of about a duality, but not everything is binary. And everything is gray. Nothing is easily labeled, because the minute you put a label on something, at least magically speaking, it changes on you. It shifts and gets another definition, another property to it. Even our own souls, the more we try to understand ourselves, the more complicated and infinite we become. And I love that about magic, is that it's never done. You never completely understand what magic is to you, because it's always evolving and changing, because it is the universe. Magic is liquid. It is ever flowing, never changing, always adapting. And the more that your awareness grows and your comprehension level grows, metaphysically and physically, the more you develop and get life experience behind you. So the more understanding you have of life, the more understanding of magic you have, I think. Which is why I think there's so much emphasis on sages and crones and the path of like Wicca particularly, but in paganism, there's so much respect for the elderly a lot of times, especially in older traditional paganism, for them being the wisest. Because you do get so much life experience adds so much to your magic, and of course just to general wisdom, but to your magic, I think. Especially if you've been a practicing magician for a really big chunk of your life. By the time you get there, you've experienced a lot of things, and you've had a lot of trial and errors with magic and with ritual and with channeling and herbology and just all of this stuff, you know? And I don't know, I guess I'm getting a little rambly, but magic means a lot of things to me, not just one thing. It's a tool, it's an energy, it's a way of life, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of being. Magic is a part of my existence, and I feel like if you took the equation of magic out of Jim, then Jim wouldn't be here. That's how entangled I feel with magic and magical energy. I wouldn't want to see myself without it. Um, because it's been with me since my formative years, my very young formative years, and has supported me all the way through my teenage years and through my adulthood. So, yeah, magic is everything. It is infinite. It is the universe. It is a manifestation of God. It is a manifestation of will. It is a manifestation of all things, good and bad. And magic itself, that was actually what I was trying to get back to, is I don't believe in black and white magic. I don't like those labels for magic. I don't like those labels for people. um, Labels do have a place, and I appreciate labels. Like, we have the name magic to describe all this stuff that we've just talked about. We need labels as humans, otherwise we wouldn't be able to comprehend. We have to bring order to the chaos. Like I was saying before, we have to bring order to things, and we bring order to things through labeling. But I do not believe in black and white magic. It is all up to the user. I think there are times on your path when you do what you would call white magic, and then there are times when you do things that might be gray or even black. And that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just like in life, people try to like abstain so much from doing black magic or like dark magic. And that's absurd to me. As people, just as people, take the pagan out of us, okay? As just humans, we do bad things. We lie, we cheat, we steal. No matter how good we are, no matter how much self-development we're trying to do, I don't care who you are, you still do bad things. What would be called bad things by society. And it's the same with your spiritual practice. I think that, and you might disagree, but I think that occasionally you're going to do something that later on down the road in retrospect you might look at and say, I don't know if that's completely appropriate. Or maybe I abused magic a little to do this. Or maybe I used magic to justify this belief, or to justify my action, or to justify my anger, or whatever. And that's okay. It's all a part of the growing experience. As long as you keep a set of morals and ethics about you, as long as you treat people with respect, as long as you're a good person, you'll be fine. You'll always go back to the good path because that's who you are. That's the foundation you've built for yourself. But, now I definitely am getting rambly. But, yes, magic is infinite, and I can't just label it with a couple of things. It's so vast, and it's unexplainable. And yet we keep trying. But I think there has to come a time when you just decide to embrace the fact that magic is kind of unexplainable and isn't entirely able to be held and contained. It is like air in that sense. That's my thoughts. I could talk about it a little longer, but I would just really repeat myself a lot and break it down more. So that's my topic answer. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed really talking about that just now. I love debating things and kind of like breaking things apart. I love labeling and breaking them apart. I love bringing order to things. Anywho, that's it, you guys. Peace out, Girl Scouts. I hope wherever you are, you're well. Namaste and Ashe.